Rethabile Ranuoe today. She's going to be telling us more about her journey as a mother without a child. Babe, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Just tired.
Just tired. First of all, I would like to say thank you for coming. Thank you
It's a pleasure.
for sharing your experience with us and teaching us about this whole process and journey. We're hoping to learn more from you.
It's only a pleasure, my friend.
Alright, babe, please tell us about you. Who is Rethabile?
Rethabile is a woman. Rethabile is a mother. Rethabile is a friend. Rethabile is... I'm just a lovely person. No, I'm joking. Okay, yes. I'm a very chilled person, easygoing. If I'm not at work, I'm at home, chilling with my family, watching TV. Otherwise, I'm eating, obviously. Yeah, I'm a socialite, so to say. Like, I like interacting with people. Yeah.
So what do you do?
I work in retail. I'm currently a cosmetics manager at Fushimi. That's what I do. That's my job.
Okay, thank you. Please tell us a bit about your childhood. How was it growing up?
Woo! It was nice. It was a roller coaster because, like, at home, I have 4 siblings and I'm the last born. So yeah, I have like a brother and 2 other sisters, but I was always the baby in the house. So I got away with a lot.
We all know how it boils down when it comes to
last born. Yes.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm the last born, and my other siblings seem to think I'm the apple of my mother's eye, but
we all know how it goes.
It's not really like that. I think my brother is her favorite because he's the eldest and he's the only guy in the family. But yeah, I had a very good childhood, very strict, but good childhood. Yeah, I had a great upbringing until, life happened.
Life happened.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about your dreams and aspirations.
Ooh, I've got a lot of dreams. Like today, today I want to model. Tomorrow I'm like, okay, like ever since I was a child, I won't lie to you. I've never seen myself as a person who would work in. I never really thought I would work in an office. I was never that girl. I loved dancing as a child, so one of my many dreams is to own a dance studio. Especially for those kids who can't really afford to pay for dance classes, because I grew up like that. I couldn't afford to go to like dance classes, professional dancing. I learned how to dance in the streets. It's one of my many passions. I love dancing. I also love fashion. I love looking good. I love it when my friends look good. I love it when my family looks good. So that's another one of my dreams. I'm not sure yet whether I want to be a stylist or I want to be a designer, but one of the two has to happen because I really, really love fashion. I love clothes, I love looking good, I love feeling good. So, yeah.
Honestly, I think you're already on the right path. Considering
since I'm working in retail.
Yeah, since you're also a cosmetic manager, I mean,
beauty.
you're already in that field. So it won't be difficult for you to venture into stylist and whatnot.
And selling, because basically I started selling at a very young age. My sister used to like make homemade popcorns. She used to make like Russians and fish. We used to sell ice blocks, and I would go house to house actually selling the popcorns and the Russians. Like this whole thing started in my childhood.
Wow.
So like selling, being in sales, and
business lady.
Yeah, I've always been that girl who just knows how to convince people to buy things when they didn't even.
Plus, the pretty face also sells. The pretty face does the most.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, basically those are my dreams and aspirations, to actually own something. And yeah, I don't want to be an employee for the rest of my life.
Okay. we all, like, with me, I know what family is, what family means to me. And you know, like, I know, like, family akaki everything. So why now, what does family mean?
Family means love. If there's any word out there that could describe like love to me, it would be family. You are down and out, you are sad, you are happy, your family is always there to love and support you. But at least that's what I've had. Like with my family, all I see is love. Like we have a very strong bond. Like my mother and my siblings. And yeah, I grew up in a very happy home. We do have our ups and downs as a family, but to me, family is love. When I see my family, I see what love is. Because I've been loved unconditionally. Like I get all the support that I've needed in my life from my family. So family is love.
You? Hey. Wow. Okay. That means it's a godly feeling as well, because they say God is love.
Exactly.
So if family is love, then family is God. It's God Himself, and you know.
Yes.
That's very powerful. Seeing that you're expecting, how has it been? Tell us.
Wow. Okay. As you know, I've lost my child from my previous pregnancy. This has been scary, exciting. Now I'm actually anxious because I'm getting closer and closer to that final day where I get to meet this little human being growing inside of me. So it's been a roller coaster as well. Like I've been scared, I've cried, I've been paranoid. But I have to say the paranoia hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be. Like I've got support from my family, as I told you. I've got sisters, I've got friends. I've got people that kept me going, that keep me going, that, you know, make me feel that it's not as difficult anymore. And also the support that I have from my partner is very, like, it's really amazing. So it's been a great journey.
Wow.
So far it's been great.
As we know that you are a mother without a child.
Yes.
Please tell us, like, how do you and that phrase, a mother without a child, how does it apply to you? Like,
If 3 years ago you asked me that question, I don't know if I would have been able to answer it. I'm still amazed.
how did you do it?
I'm still amazed that actually I'm now at a point where I can actually talk to people. Yes, sometimes I do still cry when I talk about my child, but sometimes, you know, I can easily talk about her and smile because she meant that much to me. She was the center of my universe. From the moment, like, you know, when you fall pregnant, you bond with that person from the moment you find out. So I had a bond with my child until, let me say, for 42 weeks, because she only lived for 7 days. I carried her for 41 weeks. But it hasn't been easy. So I've cried. I've tried to I've considered committing suicide so many times. I've been on antidepressants and then off and then back on them again. I've had anxiety attacks, anything that I felt like I'm going crazy basically.
what happened? What happened to your daughter?
Okay, I had a very healthy pregnancy. No, I didn't have any complications basically. I was a very healthy pregnant lady. Unfortunately, I went into labor at 41 weeks. There were complications with regards to how everything was handled, I feel. Um, I went into the hospital firstly on Monday. I had some back pains, and then I was told that it's both labor pains because my water had not broken. And then I was sent back home on Tuesday.
Are we talking public hospital?
Yes, we're talking public hospital.
Okay.
And then Tuesday morning I went back home. Tuesday night I went to the loo, you know. And then after I came back from the loo, I had some water running down, you know. But I thought, maybe I didn't finish peeing or something. Because I didn't know what was going on.
Yes.
Since I came back from false labor pains, now I don't know what. But I had no pain at that time. And then, but then I decided, you know what, Wednesday morning, first day, I'm gonna go to the clinic. Which is what I did. I woke up very early, went to the clinic, and then they checked if maybe my water did break, and indeed what I was experiencing was my water breaking. So they called the ambulance for me. I went to the hospital again the Wednesday. From that hospital, they sent me to another one the Thursday afternoon. So now it's more than 24 hours. Yeah? My water is broken, it's more than 24 hours.
Sure.
Thursday afternoon I went to the other hospital. They just admitted me, no doctor, no nothing. Then I was only seen...
Another public hospital?
Yes. Then I was only seen by the doctor the Friday morning. And then when the doctor saw me, they never actually, I feel they never bothered to check whether I would be able to give normal birth to the child because the child was very big. She weighed 4.1 kgs when she was born. So they induced me Friday in the morning. And then I had labor pains till that evening. Very consistent labor pains until that evening. I was actually meant to be the last person to go for the C-section because now the injection was not working. Simply because I was on 8 centimeters the whole day. So then I was taken to the theater and I had my C-section. I was meant to be the last person, but the person who was like supposed to go before me, I had to go before her because now the baby's heartbeat started slowing down. So I was taken into theater, I gave birth, and then they told me that my child suffered from asphyxia. That's when there's not enough oxygen going to the child's brain.
Sure.
So she had to be rushed to an ICU. Like she didn't even cry when she was born. She just had screams.
So the delay that was caused, the delay from the time
The time frame, yeah.
the water was broken, to the time you kept going to different hospitals, to the time you were induced, up until the time you waited to get the C-section done, the baby was suffering because like the baby was ready to be born basically, and all those days
Remember now she had no protection. My water already broken like Tuesday. So
and this was 3 days later.
I feel like that delay is what caused the whole thing of like her not getting enough oxygen during labor because I waited too long.
You know what's sad about this whole situation is that even if you try to find answers, even if you go and do your own investigations, even if you do involve your legal teams, your medical specialists, your whatever, your child will not be back. Nothing will ever bring the child back.
That's the thing. Like a lot of people are like, you should sue the hospital. It's like you sue. My brother said to me, you sue the Department of Health. But at the end of the day, it's not gonna bring my child back. I'm just gonna relive the trauma that I had to go through over and over, because I'm gonna be asked questions, same questions over and over, and I'm gonna have to repeat the trauma that I had to go through and it's still not gonna bring my child back. Like really.
And whether Baufa 5 rand,
it's not
20
not gonna
million,
be enough.
10,000, still, I think it will be a long one. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
What was the most unexpected feeling during this whole healing process? What is it that you thought to yourself, I never thought I'll get to this stage at any time, at any point in my life?
I actually never thought I would be able to have a genuine smile. I never thought I would be happy. Like really, really happy. I never expected to be pregnant again.
Wow.
Simply because at the time that I lost her, after I had lost her, I felt if I have another child now, it's going to feel like I'm replacing her. If I become happy, it's like I'm forgetting about her.
You're betraying her.
Yeah, if I smile and I genuinely, like if I feel joy, so to speak, it's going to feel like I'm betraying her and her memory. It's like I'm forgetting that she ever existed. I never expected that I would actually get to a point in my life where I would really, really be happy and, you know, have like a bun in the oven again. Yeah.
But tell me, have you forgiven everyone that was part of this whole process, like this whole thing? You losing the baby. Have you forgiven all of them? Or is there anyone who feel like be it your baby daddy, be it the nurses, be it the hospital, be it the doctors, be it yourself? Have you told yourself, okay, I'm letting go, I'm forgiving everyone?
Woo, what a question.
Have you forgiven yourself, the baby daddy, the nurses, the doctors, the hospital, the Department of Health, the paramedic driver, everyone?
You know what? I feel like if I hadn't forgiven them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Part of you being happy and you accepting the situation that you are now in is forgiving everyone, and even though nobody came to you and said, I'm sorry, I wasn't there for you. Like you mentioned the baby daddy. 90% of the time during my pregnancy, I felt like I was alone. I was not in a good relationship. According to me, emotionally, it wasn't healthy. So I feel like you have to forgive people even though they've never even apologized to you. So part of the healing process that you go through, or the stages that you go through, includes forgiving everyone. So yes, I have forgiven, even though sometimes it hurts, but I have forgiven them. Because if I didn't forgive them, I can't forgive myself as well, because I also blamed myself. I blamed myself. I felt like, why didn't I go back to the hospital that Tuesday night when the water broke? You know? Even it didn't come to my head that, you know what, they actually turned you away the Tuesday morning because they said you had false labor pains and now you were not even sure if your water broke because you had just come back from the bathroom. I still blamed myself for that. I felt like if I had taken action a bit earlier, if I had medical aid, I wouldn't be in this situation. If I had listened to my gut feeling, my child would still be alive. If I had held on, if I prayed hard enough, my child would still be here. Like I had a lot of
what ifs.
what ifs. Like I blamed myself a lot more than anybody else. It was the most difficult journey I've ever had to go through, or the most difficult process was actually forgiving myself more than those people that might have contributed towards eventually losing my child.
Tell me about your spiritual growth.
Like how it was affected.
Like not at that point. Because obviously when you were going through that,
I was
your
mad.
Your spiritual your spiritual your spirituality was like tested, and you felt like, you know what, Ndimu cut
Yeah, I was very
absent.
mad at him. Like I was very angry.
Make me absent, you know. But like through the process, the healing process, how have you, up until now, how have you grown your spirituality, your spiritual person? Oh, I know. At which level?
She's in a very happy place right now. She's at a level where she knows that
God.
he heals. He really does heal. Like I'm not gonna lie and tell you that the pain is completely gone. I still feel the pain. I still
You live with
cry, you know. I still have those days where I completely break down as if it just happened or it happened yesterday, because I have flashbacks of the events that took place during the time that I was having her. But now I'm more positive. I pray. I talk to him. I talk to God as if like I'm talking to you now. I tell him all my worries. I now lay everything on God, because previously I never really used to do that. I never really thought of God as my friend. I just knew that I grew up. And you don't question him. And I thought you don't question him back then. Until I lost my child and I started questioning. I was like, why did you take my child? Why did I have to go through this? After everything else that I've been through in my life, now I have to lose my child. I thought I've been through enough pain, but this one is the worst kind of pain
ever. You know what, Nia? I think one other mistake that we make is that we take God as like that mighty person that we cannot even get close to. And in actual fact, we should take him as our father. Because as a child, you know that when you need something, you know that when you are hurting, you know that when you are, you know, when you need something, when you are lacking, when you are happy, you talk to your father, you tell your father. You have that. I've learned that you have to have a meeting with God. There's a meeting place. You need to have a meeting with God and say, like when you're about to prepare for an interview, like no Rethabile, I need God. Like pardon me, I need to be like presentable. I'm going to an interview. I'm meeting these people for business, for work, all these things. This is the same mindset that you need to have towards God. And you need to tell yourself that I'm prepared to have a meeting with you as my father. I need to lay down all my worries. I need to tell you what I need. I need to tell you what's hurting me. I need to thank you for 1, 2, 3, 4. God is not that monster that was painted in us.
In our heads.
We can't get closer to him.
Exactly.
And I think when you've been through something like this, you know what, actually, I thank you, Father, for having put me through 1, 2, 3, 4, because of that, 1, 2, 3. You appreciate life more. Exactly. You appreciate life more. You appreciate your loved ones, people around you. You see things in a different perspective, and you know what to say to the next person when they are going through the same or the worst
and you know
thing ever.
I feel like I'm not saying that what happened to me was nice or that I would want it to happen again. But sometimes some things happen to you to remove certain people from your life that you didn't even know you needed to remove. You know, there are some people that I lost during my grieving period, including the father of my child.
And you gained other people?
I gained people that helped me a lot in the healing process.
That brings me to the next question that I wanted to ask you. The external influences with the healing process. The external meaning the people that have been there, the people that are still there now, and the people that you're going through the journey with. How has the external influence been on you? Because you know there's a conflict between what you believe in and what other people believe should have happened. How have you been able to maneuver around that whole external influence with
you
people?
know, if there's one thing that I appreciate about my mother, it's what she taught me. She raised me to be this person who does what she feels is right. If what I feel is right doesn't feel right for you, that's your business. I'm going to do what I feel is right for me. Even with regards to, I'm going to make a simple example for you, religion. My brother is a Jehovah's Witness. My mother goes to an Anglican church. She never minded. I mean, my brother has been there for 20 years now. She understood that, okay, this is what he believes in. This is how I raised him to be. He has to have a mind of his own, you know, and he must never allow other people to drift him or to shift his mindset from what he believes in. So I've been privileged enough to be raised by a woman who instilled that in me from a very young age. So yeah, I've been doing everything that I feel like I believe in, that I felt was right for me. So yeah, there have been people who would say to me, like immediately after I lost my child, they would be like, you should have another baby.
So like
or like if you have another baby, you're gonna feel better quicker. I waited 3 years until I could fall pregnant again, because that's when I felt, oh, okay, now I can have another baby. Why? Because I'm at a better place with regards to my healing, with regards to, I didn't want to have a baby
mindset,
knowing that I'm still angry. The child doesn't deserve that. No child can replace Dimple in my life, ever, even the one I'm carrying. None whatsoever. Like, I remember a few days ago, someone actually said to me, it's a good thing that you're pregnant, you know, so that you can forget about Dimple. And I said to him, no. In as much as I understand where you're coming from, Dimple will never be forgotten. Ever in my life. She is a part of who I am. She is
a part of your story.
She's she's my child. And this one will not even be replacing her at all.
This is the most frustrating thing about this whole situation, where you get people saying things like, you have to forget, like, don't dwell. Like, it's like they're talking about something.
There's a difference between like nursing your grief, like Nessa, in terms of like always feeling sorry for yourself. And actually allowing yourself to feel the pain, but knowing that it's okay to feel the pain now, but I'm gonna let it go. At some point, I am going to move forward. Moving forward doesn't mean that I'm forgetting my child or anything like that. It just means that I've accepted where I'm like losing the child. I've accepted my situation, and I'm now living with it on a daily basis. So
it's a feeling. I believe that it's a feeling that will never go away, but you just learn to live with it.
You learn to live with it.
You learn to accommodate it. in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, your spirit, everything. What would you say to a mother who has lost, like especially a young mother? We are talking about young mothers because we are young mothers. Who is saying, I have lost a baby and I don't want to live anymore. Like I don't see a tomorrow for myself. What would you say to such a person, whether they've lost their babies 2 years ago, yesterday, last week, or now?
You know, yeah, it's very difficult to actually advise someone who is like lost a child on like how they can actually move on from it, or how they can move past the pain. But all I can say to them is the most important thing for you to do is to be gentle with yourself. Remember that you are a human being. You are allowed to cry. Your feelings are valid. Even if it's been 15 years and you still feel like crying today, it's okay. Your feelings are valid. You lost a human being that you helped create and you helped bring into this world, or you tried to bring into this world. Because some mothers lose their babies before they're even born. So it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to cry. It's okay to mourn for as long as you want to. But you must also remember that there is still a tomorrow. There is light at the end of the tunnel. It might not seem like it at that moment, or at that time, or at the time that you've just lost your child, but there is. You just need to basically be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to feel in that moment. If you feel like crying, cry. And if anybody feels that it's been too long, or if anybody feels that you are being an attention seeker or anything, don't be afraid to remove that person. Do not be afraid to remove people in your life that make you feel bad for mourning your own child. Ever. Do not be afraid to remove, whether they are your family members, whether they're your friends. I had to learn that the hard way, that you need to learn. There was like one specific friend that I would like feel bad if I felt sad when I was around her. Because she would be like she would be off with me, or she would be angry, or she would just act a certain way when I'm not okay. So I had to let her go. She was part of the people I had to let go, because she didn't understand this is who I am now. You know the Rethabile I was before I lost the child.
And the most painful thing about that is, after you bury your child,
it's like
everyone,
the funeral is done now. You have to forget.
They all go back to their normal lives, and then they leave you with this black cloud hanging over your head, and you have to carry it wherever you go.
And that's when the storm actually starts. Because I remember my mother had to go back to work at some point after we buried Dimple. The very first time I was left alone in that house, I cried as if I just heard that my baby is dead.
Because you were so dependent on her, like being with around
her.
I
was always with company, but now I was now all alone. And I felt like the walls are closing in on me.
Sure.
I felt like, no, please tell me I'm dreaming. Please tell me
reality
it didn't happen. I would cry every day after she leaves for work. I cry. For a good month, I think I had to go through that storm where I was crying.
One last question. If we were to talk about this, we would take the
whole day.
I would tell you about my experience. I would talk about how I felt. I would would talk about who said what. I would talk about who did what. I would talk about, you know, they even go to an extent of telling you to remove your child's pictures from the walls from your phone because you have been you know, I have blocked people on my WhatsApp because others would say I shouldn't be posting my child, I shouldn't be making him a profile picture. So like,
tell me about it.
Anyway, we won't finish. One last thing I wanted to ask you: if you were to be a hero, a super, like not even a hero, if you were to have superpowers, what power would you want to have and why?
It would be to, if there is a power of like removing pain from people who've lost their babies, I would definitely want to have that.
And then take it off and just
remove the
pile
pain.
it up somewhere.
Pile it up
Take
somewhere.
pile it up somewhere. And
let them just not feel it, because it's the worst kind of pain any person can ever go through.
I know. And people, like, I know there are people that have lost their mothers and they would tell you, you're losing your mother. And there are people that would say, you're losing a father. And because some of us don't relate, we don't know that pain.
The same way they don't relate to us.
And for now, I feel like this has to be the worst. I don't know about losing parents.
You know what?
I'm still yet to experience it.
I actually used to, when I was younger, I used to feel like, I think I want to die first before my mother dies, because I don't want to feel the pain of losing her. I would rather she felt it. But now, after losing Dimpo, I was like, I can never put my mother through that pain. I had the privilege of like knowing her love and everything. Yes, I'm going to be like hurt if she dies. I'm gonna feel like my world is coming to an end. But losing a child is like losing yourself.
Something you've created, bro.
You're losing yourself.
Something you've created.
You're losing yourself, and you have to create, and like you have to build yourself up again. You pick up pieces, or rather you build new pieces of yourself, because once you lose your child, you're losing everything that you knew you were. It's gone.
It's like BBC losing your cement. You are a BBC and that's a cement.
You die. And my mother,
you are at the manufacturer.
like my mother's diabetic, she's got blood pressure. I don't think she would be able to handle the pain of losing her own child at all. You know, like I said before, yes, if she was to lose one of us, she's gonna feel like she lost her whole life, even though all the other three are still there.
You know what you just said reminded me of when my mother lost my sister. My mother lost my sister back in 2007. I had never felt that kind of pain before because I've never lost somebody close to me. Imagine if I could not make peace with losing a sister that was so close to me, that used to take care of me. This sister used to pay my fees, used to do everything for me. My parents were not doing anything for me. My mother, it took my mother years for her to accept that my sister is gone, and I did not understand. Fine, I understood it's her child, but my mom would just break down in the middle. But when once it happened to me,
then you understood.
I went to my mother and said, I understand.
I get it.
I get it. I get it. Even if now you are not okay, I get it. Thank you so much for being part of this channel, for sharing your experience, and for allowing us into your space, into your world, into your spirituality, into your personal being, into your inner being, into being vulnerable with us. And
it's only a pleasure.
And I'm hoping that this story will be able to help somebody out there, will be able to make people that are affected by such situations to understand, my husband, my wife, my my sister, my friend, my colleague, my mother is hurting and she's going through the most because of losing a child. I hope this it fika to the right ears, to the right minds, to the right hearts. Kore,
To the right people, like it
reaches whoever needs to hear it. And thank you so much for coming.
It's a pleasure. You know, Muskrata, you know. So yeah, it's only a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, let's tell everyone to like, comment, and
Subscribe.
No. Tell them.
Hi guys, please like,
Comment.
comment.